Hiya, and welcome back to Promises to Keep, the game that teaches us, Bazinga Bird. Anyways, let's just hop right in. Wrong save. We need this save. After all, you promised. The door is open, but I can't leave. The music is so loud, but I can't turn it off. I make myself sick, but I can't change. Scared of the outside, scared of the silence, and most of all, scared of... The music grows impossibly louder, clawing at my eardrums with frantic fingers. The bass rattles my bones, trying to pull them from my flesh. I can't do this anymore! I have to go. Somewhere, anywhere else. I throw open the nearest door and stumble outside, kicking up snow and old trash. My frantic eyes spot a nearby railing and I haul myself in that direction, just barely making it before my knees give out. Just need a moment. My talons move without thought, like a puppet on a string, digging through my pockets for that familiar calming shape. Sweet heat, cool fire, just what I needed. The reek of the overflowing dumpster invades my nostrils, but I couldn't care less. Just a moment to burn away the panic here under the velvety wing of solitude. When was the last time I was alone? Completely, blissfully alone. Without those sharp eyes digging into my back. I can't even remember. The music from the club gets louder still, as if reaching out for me, noticing my escape. I shiver as a cold wind sweeps past, ruffling my exposed feathers. I shiver again, remembering the feeling of grasping paws and hot breath on my neck. Hang on. I'm gonna fucking call. Another drag, burning through me, harsh and cleansing. I should go back. My friends are probably looking for me. I want nothing less. Right on cue, the wretched door crashes open and he steps through, bringing the sound and the fury with him. His harsh eyes turn from livid to relieved as soon as he sees me. Oh, shit! There you are. Should have told me you're going out for a smoke. We all thought you bailed like you did last time. He laughs, sweet yet mocking. My stomach curdles with shame and anger, still turning over and over to anxiety's steady beat. Yeah, I just needed a minute. I figured. You never last too long at these kinds of shows. He slumps against the railing next to me, fishing out a cigarette of his own. He always looks so much cooler than me when he smokes. So... He looks down at me, eyes twinkling behind a curl of smoke. What was it this time? Music too loud? Well, yeah, actually. Feels like they keep cranking it up higher and higher. The bass vibrates in my throat as I speak, barging its way through the closed metal door. He laughs again. That's 'cause they are. That's sort of the whole point. Gotta take you out more of these nights, if that's still bothering you. He snorts with laughter, smoky cloud billowing from his nostrils. Slumped against the railing in that dim fluorescent light, he looks like a smug, sinuous dragon, deciding whether or not to incinerate me with a blast of flame. What else? Well, another shiver. That one tiger kept, My voice catches in my throat. Rough paws ruffling my feathers. Oh, right, yeah. Francis couldn't keep his paws off of you, huh? My eyes snap to a smiling face, smoke forgotten. I guess I should have warned you. He's got a real thing for birds. You saw? And you didn't help? I sure did. Pretty sure everyone did. Sometimes I hate that shit-eating grin of his. Look, I'm sorry about him. He's kind of a pain in the ass, yeah. But his brother runs the club. He shrugs and takes another drag, either not noticing or not caring that my eyes are boring through his skull. And we like coming here, so that's the way it's gotta be. Besides, the cover for this place is way out of our budget. There's no way we'd get in otherwise. My talons curl tightly around the bars of the cold metal fence, like the bars of a cage dangling like bait over the abyss. Inside, the song changes, and he straightens, stubbing out a cigarette and tossing it away. Oh yeah, this one's my favorite. You come back and I'll buy you another drink. I don't move. I don't speak. Hey, Earth to Artemis. What's your usual? Rum to Coke? Coke? No. My voice cracks a little. I'm not drinking tonight. Oh well, no wonder you're having a shitty time. He grabs me by the shoulder. His grip is soft but completely inescapable. Once we get a few drinks down you, you'll be right as rain. He begins to gently tug me back towards the door, every inch like being dragged over hot coals. No, actually, I think I want to go home. What? His voice takes on that familiar edge, sharp as a knife. Come on, it's only been like an hour. And I'm everyone's ride, remember? I did remember. How could I forget 45 insufferable minutes in a packed, smoke-choked car, careening through the streets at breakneck speed? I know. But I'm just really not feeling well, and he changes tact and sighs deeply, stuffing his paws in his pockets. Alright, look, if you really want to go home, I can take you, but... There's always a but. And I just think it's kind of selfish of you, that's all. Hang on. It's a belly button piercing. The word selfish strikes me like a whip. We've all been looking forward to this show for like a month, okay? I invited you because you're my friend and I love you. Nervous flutter of the heart, unbidden and unwanted, but completely undeniable. If I'd known you bail 50 minutes in... He sighs again. Look, I can't leave right now, okay? But I can call you a ride. His gaze hardens, now absolutely withering. What? I don't think I can afford it. You're shitting me. He crosses his arms, eyes beating me down into the pavement. Let me get this straight. You agreed to come out to this club that you know I've been super excited about, and immediately after you get here, you start acting weird and standoffish. You won't drink, you won't dance, you won't even stay in the building. And now you're telling me I have to drive you home because you don't have any money? Well, you don't have to. I'll just need to borrow. He says my name like a death sentence, like the tolling of a cold brass bell, like the swinging shut of an iron cage door. You're embarrassing yourself and me. Every time you do this, I have to stick my neck out for you. And to be honest, I'm getting pretty fucking sick of it. With a final, long-suffering sigh, he pulls out his wallet and starts rifling through it. I'll ask the others. We'll lend you the money for a ride. But this is it, okay? If you leave tonight, we're done. Theatrically, right on cue, he pauses and meets my eyes, already knowing what will happen. I stand there, stuck between the frozen streets and the harsh, blaring beats. I'll last longer than usual. He seems to take notice as well, like he can see me fighting it. But then I crumble, like I always do. Okay, I'll come back inside. Just like that, the violence in his eyes vanishes, replaced at once by a jovial smile, triumphant and victorious. I regretfully stub out my cigarette, grinding its sweet, precious warmth into the iron railing. Sorry for being the way I am. Hey, no worries, I'm used to it by now. He slings a wiry arm over my shoulders and tugs me back to the door. He's warm, despite the cold, and the soothing smell of sweat, booze, and musky cologne washes over me. Let's get you that rum and coke. You're gonna have fun tonight, even if it kills both of us. He wrenches the door open and we plunge headfirst into the abyss. I crank my head around, frantically trying to catch one last glimpse of my escape. The door is open, but I can't leave. It starts to swing shut like a coffin lid being nailed into place. I can almost hear the pounding of the hammer, in time with the vibrating room around me. I feel every strike square in the chest, reverberating through my aching body. I hear someone calling my name, a familiar gruff voice that sets every feather on edge. I feel that slender arm, my final anchor, uncoil from my shoulders, setting me loose, lost adrift in the violent waves and clouds of smoke. A different pair of paws envelop me and my mind goes black. The room around me fades into blurred streaks. Voices and lyrics meld into slurred, stuttering blasts of sound, pounding over and over to the steady beat of the hammer. The squealing of the heavy iron door, slamming shut with a sound like... The sound of shattering glass wrenches me awake. One endless moment, dream and reality blur together. I feel the harsh, numbing beat of the music in my veins, thumping in violent, clashing sound contrast to the howl of the wind. I feel the comforting, suffocating weight of an arm across my shoulders. I feel betrayal. Sharp as a knife in the back. Easy there, deep breaths. I fill my tattered lungs with air and pull my knees up to my chest, waiting for the feeling in my limbs to return. None of that was real, Leo. It was all a dream. Look around you. This, right here, in front of you, is real. The familiar sight of Theo's den comes into focus as my eyes adjust. With one notable difference. I stumble to my paws in the dim moonlight and begin fumbling for the light switch. A fallen tree branch protrudes into the room like a gnarled hand, reaching towards me with clawed, beckoning fingers. I stand dumbly in the center of the room, staring at the unwelcome intruder. My eyes trace the branch up to its base, out the shattered window to the howling darkness outside. What is that sound? Oh, it's my heart. The blood pounding in my veins. My legs wobble and I slump back down onto the air mattress, shaking all over. Rhythmic beats intensify and I uselessly cover my ears, pressing them flat against my head. It does nothing, of course, to dull the throbbing ache in my skull. I'm not sure how long I sit there, hunched and shivering, eyes wide and stiff, staring blankly at the floor. Must have been at least a year, no, 10 years. Perhaps 20 until finally there's room for thought. Room for reason. I can still feel his paws on my fur. His weight pressing onto me. Maybe I always will. Leo. It was just a dream. I remind myself again, more forcefully this time. I flex my claws, digging ever so slightly into my fur. Soft pinpricks of pain grounding me here in this body. Artemis. I scrabble for my phone into the only thing that comes to mind. It rings 3 times, punctuated by the wind's steady pulse. Rough click and the sound of shuffling blankets. Leo? For the first time in an eternity, something speaks louder than the pounding of my heart. Leo, you there? I latch onto his words, each one quieting the resonant beats within. Look, I appreciate that you're thinking about me, but it's like 3 in the morning, so... Artemis? The den? I force all of my energy into my words, trying as hard as possible to sound normal. Huh? There was a fallen branch. It broke the window. Oh. Shit. Yeah. Sorry for asking, but do you mind? Of course. Sorry for being an ass. I'll be right up. Do me a favor and put shoes on, like, right now, before you step on anything sharp. After only a few minutes, the Blue Jay shoulders the door open, eyes alight with concern. Takes every ounce of restraint not to bury my face in his feathers and muffle the outside world. His discerning gaze sweeps across the room as he quickly takes in the state of things. Then he lets out a slow, tuneful whistle. Wow. This sucks. Feel a strangled laugh claw its way up my throat, sharp and desperate, tinged with hysteria. Yeah, it sure does. I just can't catch a break, huh? Clearly not. So what, did you, like, walk under a ton of ladders before this or blow up a mirror factory? The laugh breaks free then, and some of my strangled tension leaves with it. Not lately, no. Okay, good, because I'm going to be sharing a room with you moving forward, and I don't need any more bad luck. I blink at Artemis several times in rapid succession, not quite sure if I heard him correctly. Sharing a room? Yeah. What, you think you're going to still sleep here after this? Absolutely not. As soon as we're done cleaning up here, we're moving your stuff down to the basement. Nope. He cuts me off, a slight blush clearly visible on his feathered cheeks. I won't hear any arguments. Or apologies, I can tell you've got one locked and loaded. I swallow the obligatory sorry and nod. I spend enough time around Ollie. I know when someone's about to apologize for no reason. Thanks, Artemis. Yeah. He waves a talon, blushing even harder. Anyway, speaking of cleaning up, we should probably start actually doing that. Instead of whatever this is. Right. I rub my eyes furiously with both paws and give my pounding heart a shake. I'll get a broom from the kitchen and start sweeping up the glass. Good first step. The bird pauses for a moment, eyes flicking around the room. I think I'm going to go get Theo. Oh, of course, Theo! He'll want to see this, even if it upsets him. He'd probably be more upset if we waited till morning to tell him. Just, prepare yourself for a frantic grandpa. Greatest line ever. Prepare yourself for a frantic grandpa. I walk into the already lit kitchen and do a quick sweep for a broom and dustpan. By the time I locate it, I can already hear muffled voices and the sound of fast, heavy paw steps. Hey, slow down a bit, will you? Theo, wide-eyed and panting, ignores Artemis completely and wrenches open the den door. Now that the master of the house is here, the howling wind seems louder than before. Theo's eyes land on the branch, and he winces with real pain, as if it had pierced him instead. Artemis and I exchange worried glances. We had expected Theo to be distressed, but I can tell he's immediately regretting the frantic grandpa jab from earlier. The fox takes another step towards the broken mirror, and Artemis starts forward, talons outstretched. Hey, whoa, whoa, whoa! What did I just say? There's glass everywhere. Theo, buddy, you should really go put some shoes on. Artemis turns to me, attempting to grab the reins of the situation. Leo, you want to start sweeping up? I'll get to work moving the furniture. No. Theo's voice is hoarse and clipped, pulsing with raw panic. Go out to the living room. I'll handle this. What? Artemis's stormy brow furrows sharply. No, I don't think so. This is my house. This is my responsibility. Theo speaks with his back to us, shoulders set in a rigid line. Don't be dense! Do you honestly think you could move that branch out here by yourself? Theo starts to retort, but Artemis interrupts him. Besides, if you think we're going to repay your kindness by making you clean all this up alone, then we've given you the wrong impression. Theo turns back to us, a new anger burning in his wide, frantic eyes. I can feel the blood start to pound once more in my skull. You don't owe me anything. I'm telling you to let me handle it. Artemis frowns, clearly unwilling to back down. And what, you think we'll just sit around for the next few hours watching? My gaze darts between the bird and the fox, unsure of what to do. The broom and dustpan hang uselessly in my paws. What happens when you sprain your back lifting this branch? That familiar dread starts to bubble up once more. Do you think you'd be doing us any favors lying injured on the couch? I should say something. I have to interject. Guys, I don't... Sprain my back? Just how old do you think I am? Will you calm down? I didn't say... I am perfectly capable of taking care of my own home, Artemis. And furthermore, I don't know who you think you are to... For a moment, the room goes white. I hear the muffled clatter of the broom hitting the floor, and then all sounds fade, replaced by a steady pressure and a feeling of absence. Faintly, I feel my back impact the wall and slide roughly downwards, almost like I'm feeling it happen to somebody else. A strong, solid arm drapes over my shoulders, and... an arm. Over my shoulder, pulling me back. No! With a violent flailing motion, I shake off the arm. Leo... Artemis draws his arm back, clearly shaken by my violent reaction. Leo, we're here. It's gonna be okay. My breath returns in slow, stuttered gasps. I'm sorry. I don't know what... Theo cuts me off. No, I'm sorry. Shouldn't have raised my voice. And, I guess I should apologize, too, for being the way I am. Sorry, Theo. Leo. I just realized I've been giving Theo the wrong voice the whole time. The room goes quiet, except for the low hum of the wind from the window. We should really patch that up. And we are helping you, Theo, whether you like it or not, so... Will you please go put on some shoes? A spark of animosity still lingers in the air, but I can tell Theo is too tired to pursue it. Okay. He turns and slopes out of the room, his expression too complex to read. Artemis sighs, sifting pieces of glass with his booted foot. Well, I fucked that one up pretty hard. As usual. But, whatever about me. Are you okay? You were out like a light for a bit there. Yeah, I'm alright. Despite my best efforts, I don't sound particularly convincing. Does this happen to you a lot, or... No. He gives me a concerned once-over, still crouched beside me on the hardwood floor. I know I said we'd both help, but... Maybe you should go lie down. I'm worried about you, bud. I seriously consider it for a moment. Just a moment, though. Then I struggle back upright, grabbing the fallen broom and dustpan. No, I'll be fine. I think it was just, with everything going on, just a little too much for me. Artemis drops his gaze, guilt plain in his eyes. Yeah, makes sense. Okay, I'm really annoying about apologizing, but I feel like it's warranted here. I'm sorry for starting that argument. I really thought I was helping by pushing Theo like that. For what it's worth, I think it's what he needed to hear. Maybe. Anyways, that's enough drama for one night. I'll be chill from now on. I promise. I muster a smile for the Blue Jay, feeling some life return to my weary frame. Thanks. We get to work. The sweeping takes much longer than I expected, Artemis's hawkish eyes continuously spotting small shards I missed. Only after a few minutes do I wordlessly hand him the broom. He gracefully accepts with his usual sardonic grin. We swap jobs and I pick up where he left off, moving the furniture and gathering the fallen items, being particularly wary of hidden glass. Theo joins us not long after, sporting some thick snow boots and a chagrined expression. Welcome back. I think Cleo could use a hand organizing things. Artemis treats him to a deliberately soft smile. Theo nods, smiling sheepishly back. Thank you, you two. Don't mention, just earning our keep. With Theo's help, the work goes very smoothly, and before long, only the main arm of the massive branch remains. Artemis eyes it skeptically, dusting off his talons. I don't know how much help I'll be here. To be honest, you've seen my noodle arms. Don't be dense. Theo repeats Artemis's earlier jab with a playful smile, taking up his position by the gnarled wood. Guess I deserved that. Okay, where do you want me? Here, you and Leo can take this side and we'll all lift at once. Roger that. Take a few moments to angle ourselves around the branch. I steadied my grip, waiting for the others to do the same. Ready? 1, 2, 3! We all lift on 3, muscles straining. Artemis and I immediately stagger backwards, pushed back by Theo's disproportionate strength. Easy there, cowboy. I grip my teeth and double my efforts, and Artemis does the same. Got a good hold on it? Yep, let's walk! In slow, steady steps, we walk the branch back out the window until it catches on something unseen outside. I think... Here, let's drop it for a second. Gently now. We work together to let the branch back down onto the floor. I think I'll head outside and pull it from the other end. Then you two can push in from in here. Makes sense to me. Artemis replies, clearly trying to catch his breath. Theo then turns and strides out the door with far more purpose and intention than he did just minutes ago. Shit, he's really strong. Where the hell is he keeping all that? He almost knocked us over. I just think he could have moved it by himself. Both jump slightly as Theo's voice echoes throughout the room. Okay, I'm ready. Start pushing on my signal. Damn. We scramble into place and add our meager efforts to his, shoving the invading branch back out the window and into the darkness beyond. With a loud exhale and a few jerky movements, Theo pulls it through. Okay, now let's get something to seal this window. Some duct tape and garbage bags will do for now. Both should be in the kitchen, I think. As we walk through the house to the kitchen, some of our usual levity returns. Our smiles are wider, our steps are lighter. I guess it's true what they say. Sharing pain halves it, sharing joy doubles it. What are you grinning about over there? Oh, nothing really. Just a silly thought. You have a nice smile, Leo. Looks good on you. I stutter out a blushing reply and shove my paws into my pockets. Let's stay on track here, okay? Yes, sir. Sure enough, after only a minute of searching, we find what we're looking for. Garbage bags stuffed under the sink, duct tape placed neatly in the junk drawer. See, I told you every house has one. Okay, maybe you and Theo have a junk drawer, but I do not. Genuine question, does everyone here have a junk drawer? Because, like, there's one right here, like, above my desk. There's one in the kitchen. I think everyone has a junk drawer. Just, like, there's random bullshit in there. Like, tape. Random charging cables. Actually, what's in this junk drawer? I'm genuinely curious. Looking, box of things, 5-hour energy, a surge protector, an empty bag of chips, a random notebook. Just a bunch of random shit. Okay, maybe you and Theo have a junk drawer, but I do not. So where do you keep all your junk then? All your loose batteries and packets of soy sauce? Where they belong. In the garbage. Artemis, you just went from a solid 8 out of 10 to like a 6 out of 10. Just for that comment. That belongs in a junk drawer. At least put your packets of soy sauce in the fridge. God damn. I shake my head in disappointment, tucking the duct tape into my hoodie pocket. And here I thought you were civilized. That was your first mistake. The two of us get to work covering the window with the thick plastic bags, using long strips of duct tape to hold them in place. I take on duct tape duty, my claws easily slicing the tape into reasonably sized pieces. Artemis starts to patch up the window, and before long, we stand back to admire our work. I think there's still a bit of an opening around the bottom right corner. He grabs the tape and starts fiddling with it. Here, I can do it. Beats me to it, resorting to ripping the tape with his beak. Wait, don't rip it like that! Isn't that really bad for you? Yeah, well, so is losing your mind. Which is what I was doing, trying to rip it with my talons. Next time, just let me do it then. Alright, fine. I just need one more strip. After finishing up the window, we start on the bookshelves, helping Theo rearrange their contents. Some of these books are pretty heavy-duty, Theo. I'm honestly impressed. Don't be, I haven't read half of them. I'm impressed you've read any of them. I haven't opened a book since college. Really? How long has it been? 5 years, I guess. Shit, already? Huh. What was your degree? Yeah, about that. I never got one. Dropped out after the first year. Theo chuckles. Well, that's one more year of college than I had. And yet you're the one who can actually read a book, so... It's not a competition. Hi, Grandpa. Bye, Grandpa. Finally, our work begins showing real results just as the first hints of dawn creep into the room. That's looking pretty darn good. I don't have any plywood on hand, so it'll have to do until the storm blows over. I have some. Artemis chirps, leaning back against the wall. My landlord left a ton of extra building supplies in the basement of my building. I'm sure he won't notice if a few boards go missing. Theo raises an eyebrow. Stealing from your landlord, eh? He grins wickedly. Good for you, I'll take you up on that offer. Artemis nods easily. First, I want to help Leo get settled downstairs. Oh, that's right, you'll be needing a new place to sleep. I guess sharing the basement does make the most sense. The two of you should have plenty of space down there. Yup, that's the idea. I just want to finish up a few things here, but let me know if you need help with the air mattress. Sure thing. If you hear screaming and the breaking of bones, just come running. Of course. Thanks again, Artemis. I'm intruding into your space here. Hardly my space, but I get what you mean. Yeah, it's no trouble at all. You don't snore, do you? Just yanking your chain, come on. As I stretch the bedsheets over the still inflating air mattress, my lack of sleep catches up to me big time. You could go back to bed, you know. Artemis chirps, not looking up from his phone. Really thinking about it. What about you? Like I said, I'm gonna pick up the supplies for my apartment. Oh, right. I'm coming too, then! There's really no need. He slips his phone away and stands abruptly. It's only a few boards, I shouldn't need help. Look at yourself, you're exhausted. Just get a few more hours of sleep. Theo and I will handle the rest from here. I attempt a pouting expression, but find it swiftly ruined by a deep yawn. This is the second time you've put me to bed in 12 hours. Well, hopefully it actually works this time. Relax, okay? You've been through a lot lately. Despite my protests, I can already feel my eyes closing. Just for a few minutes. Before I can say another word, I find myself falling into sweet, downy nothingness. It may have been a dream, but I could swear I felt someone pull a warm blanket over me and softly brush the fur back from my forehead. I awake to sunlight filtering softly through the small basement windows. The air is cooler down here, but pleasantly so. I shed my blankets and sit upright, stretching just a little. A quick glance at my phone tells me I had been asleep longer than I expected. A few hours had passed in what felt like seconds. Spent some time sifting through my notifications, composed mostly of our house group chat turned into meme warehouse. Midst of the poorly edited pictures and looping gifs, I see a picture of Hunter digging through the fridge sent by Rofi. Someone lost their raccoon. He's literally eating us out of the house and home. Send help. The image reminds me both that I haven't seen the others in a while, and that I hadn't eaten anything since last night. After straightening out my bed, I make the easy decision to head upstairs in search of company and some food. I find it readily available in the form of Hunter and Rofi snacking merrily away in the kitchen. Rofi points an orange paw at me as I emerge from the basement. Oh, I fucking love you, Rofi.
It's time to drink water. It's time to drink water.
Hunter bursts into a fit of laughter, followed swiftly
It's time
by
to
a
drink
fit of
water.
coughing. There you are!
It's time to drink water.
Rofi sparkles, pounding Hunter jauntily on the back. Ooh, I'm glad I made it in time. Feels like I haven't eaten in ages. Well, Artemis did say the two of you were up around 3 in the morning. What, so like 9 hours ago? 9 hours? That felt like minutes ago. Hey, no big deal. Hunter chimes in, recovered from his food inhalation. It's not like any of us have anywhere to go. But what about the repairs? All done. Rofi scoops a handful of chips into his mouth and crunches away. Yep, the window's all boarded up and the den is clear. Aw, man, I'm sorry. I was planning on helping more, but... Nah, I'm glad you saved some work for the rest of us. A little bit miffed you and Artie didn't wake us up, to be honest. Rofi nods enthusiastically. Yeah, it would have been super easy with all of us there. We would have beaten the world record for sure. How was he doing, by the way? What do you mean? Artemis. He's pretty shaken up after the blackout yesterday. Seemed like he recovered alright, but I wanted to make sure. Probably due to a certain someone. Rofi nudges me playfully with an elbow. Do not blush, do not blush, do not blush, do not blush. To be honest, I have no idea how to handle Artie when he gets upset. But you seem to have a knack for it. I guess we're pretty similar, that's all. Thor. Just like I said before, you were always the popular one. Alright, whatever you say. I decided to probe a little further. So, you've seen Artemis get mad like that before? Rofi pauses deep in thought. Only once. I haven't known him that long, but it seems like a rare occurrence. It only happens when he's really stressed. And honestly, considering the circumstances, I don't really blame him. I wonder what the backstory is. He get pretty snippy, but his heart's in the right place. What about you, Hunter? You doing alright after the argument you two had? Who, me? Hunter's usual smile arrives on his face, with only the slightest hint of hesitation. No, I'm fine. It's not the first time I've been yelled at. And usually the yeller doesn't have my best interests in mind, so... water under the bridge. That moment my phone buzzes. It's a text from Artemis. A little embarrassed at how much my heart jumps when I see the name. Hey there, Sleeping Beauty. How are things at the house? Pull up a chair and start working on a reply when I see an orange snout in my peripheral vision. Sleeping Beauty? Hey! I jump up startled before swatting Rofi away, face red and tail puffing. Leo. What? Are you and Artie? You know. Hunter and Rofi exchange devious glances. Well, I can see the headlines now. Leo, age 26, the only snow leopard to die of embarrassment during the blizzard. Oh, hi, welcome. I should try House of Beef next? What's House of Beef? What is that? I'm Googling it, and... Oh! Oh my! Oh my! Oh my! Wow, that is... Wow! That is something. Be honest, it's really, really important. Maybe we are. Ha! Rofi pumps his fist in the air. I knew it. Holds a paw to an exasperated Hunter, wiggling his fingers and bouncing his eyebrows. Alright. Hunter sighs and starts rummaging through his pockets. It was $20, right? What? No, it was 50. I didn't think it was possible for my face to get any redder than it already was, but here we are. What? I'll probably read House of Beef on my own, assuming I remember to. Did you two seriously bet on this? Yeah, then I just seriously won. But for real though, I'm happy for you. Artie the really good guy. Rofi looks down at me, then with those wide blue eyes, and some of my heated emotion fades. Reminded of summer evenings, looking into those same eyes, hearing the same voice speak different words. I know what Rofi sounds like when he's being sincere. He means it. I can tell he really means it. The emotional moment is undercut only slightly by him accepting a crisp 50 from a peeved Hunter. Anyway, you'd better respond to that text before you think you hate him. Oh, shut up. I give Rofi one more well-deserved swat and turn back to my phone. Same old, sitting in the kitchen with thing 1 and thing 2. Snap a quick unflattering photo of Rofi and Hunter as they argue over the last soda. You still at your place? The 3 dots appear almost instantly. Must have been keeping an eye on his phone. For some reason that gives me the warm and fuzzies. No bout with Theo, checking on houses, etc. Figured we need to spend some time together after a little pissing contest last night. How is he? Seems alright. Helping others makes him feel better. A short break, the 3 dots appear and then vanish, and then appear again. I apologized again for being harsh last night, and also for all the old man jokes. He just laughed. Gonna be extra nice to him for the next few days just in case. But anyway, how are you doing, sleepyhead? Much better. I reply, pushing back a nosy Rofi with one paw and tapping away with the other. Really needed that rest. Not surprising, could still be leftover fatigue from hypothermia, to be honest. Start feeling weird again, let Rofi know he's got medical training so he can fuss over you if I'm not there to do it. Turn to Rofi then, face still partially covered by my paw. Artemis just volunteered your medical expertise in case I start feeling weird again. Of course! His slightly muffled voice is 100% sincere. But wait, what do you mean, again? It's no big deal. I was just shattering explosive beats, the harsh burning stench of smoke. A little shaken last night. I don't blame you, Hunter says quietly. Rofi nods in agreement. So, I say, breaking the silence. I'm still curious, when was the last time you saw Artie get really mad? Let me see, it was last summer, I think. I saw him on one of my walks around the city, and he agreed to join me. It was going really well, we were having interesting conversations and everything. And then this jerk ran a red light and nearly flattened me. My eyes widened involuntarily. Well, why you never tell me this? It was after I graduated, I never really had the chance to. Anyway, I was just paying attention to the crosswalk sign, so I didn't see him. But Artie pulled me out of the way at the last second. He was so furious. I really thought he was going to chase the guy down the street. Kinda did rip into me a little bit, too. Told me to walk where I was going and all that. I mean, he was right, of course. Okay, visual novel developers, please. Can you stop being so fucking relatable? Can you please stop being relatable? Because I had an experience like that just a few days ago. Where I almost got hit by a car. Again. The keyword being again. If you hadn't been there, I shivered despite the warmth of the kitchen. I don't want to think about that. He apologized a few minutes after and even bought me ice cream on the way back. In a weird way, I feel like I made it closer than we otherwise would have been. And, I don't know. Rofi's blue eyes unfocused deep in thought. I knew he wasn't just angry or annoyed, if that made sense. He was worried about me. He almost saw me get hurt really badly and just freaked him out. What? Are you that pissed that I almost got hit by a car? Again? Keyword being again? Here's the thing. In this town, there are no crosswalks and very few stop signs. Okay, Lug, it was on a Tuesday, believe it or not. It was on a Tuesday that I almost got hit by a car. The keyword being almost. I didn't actually get hit by a car. Okay. I was taking a back road where vehicles rarely travel through. I was taking a back road, and then a car drives by. Funnily enough, I'm pretty sure it was a friend from high school and his grandmother driving. Pretty sure it was them, and they didn't see me walk on. They didn't see me start crossing the road, and I didn't see them, nor did I hear them because I had my earbuds in. So, that happened. It's also the time whenever I crossed the road up near Main Street, and I almost get hit by cars often, actually. Like, it's gone to the point where every single time I'm crossing that road, I look both ways at least 5 times before actually crossing. This freaked him out. Despite his prickly exterior, Artemis cares a lot about other people. Sometimes I think that's why he acts so aloof, because he doesn't want to reveal how much he cares. Okay, Amethyst. First off, I can count in this town that I live in. I can count on one hand the number of stop signs. Like, genuinely, I can count on one hand the number of stop signs. I can count on one hand the number of crosswalks. If I need to cross the street, I have to jaywalk. Because it is impossible to do so lawfully. Alright, let's count. 2. There are 2. One's across a bridge, the other is uphill. The other doesn't want to reveal how much he cares. He doesn't want to come off as overbearing or clingy. That's just my theory anyway. No, I think you're right. Ollie pretty much said the same thing last night. I think back to Artemis and Theo's argument this morning, noting the similarities to Rofi's story. When the window broke, he was the first to mention getting Theo. Artemis knew he'd want to know, even if it upset him. Okay, you say BS, but you don't fucking live here. I just want to say I'm not mad. I'm good. But are you good, Lug? Yeah, he's a big ol' thofty, really. Rofi laughs, eyes twinkling. Just don't get hit by any cars and you should have no trouble with him. Oh, I bet you'll have him wrapped around your paw in just a few days. Ha ha. I say sarcastically, stealing some food off Rofi's plate. Does everyone also wake up? Was I the last to emerge today? Yup, even Ollie was up before you. He helped us organize the stuff from the den and put it back in place. I think he's still finishing up in there, actually. Maybe I'll go see if he needs help. I've done enough lying around. If you want, I'll leave some food out for the two of you. Thanks, Rofi. See you two later. Later. Actually, it might actually, Amethyst, it might actually be BS. There could legitimately be 0. Later. Bye! I head back out to the living room and working on another reply to Artemis. Any idea how much longer you two will be out? Why? You miss me already? Maybe I do. That's fair. Maybe I miss you too. Hypothetically speaking, of course. Of course. Theo and I are helping shovel at the moment. Well, more accurately, Theo is helping shovel and I'm also here. Maybe I'll break off and head back after we're done. If you want, I promise there's not that much interesting happening here. Good. I've had enough interesting to last a fucking lifetime. Same. Be back in 10 to 15 minutes. See you soon, Furball. Pocket my phone with a smile. The room looks pretty much the same as usual, with no trace of last night's mess. I stroll past a merrily crackling fire and head into the den, where I find a familiar green dinosaur fussing over the bookshelves. Morning, Ollie.
Oh, good morning, Leo.
Well, I guess it isn't really morning anymore. Ollie waves a claw lightly.
As far as I'm concerned, morning is whenever you wake up. Anyway, how are you feeling?
Everyone keeps asking me that. I say, chuckling good-naturedly. I'm fine, really.
How'd you sleep?
Like a rock. A particularly sleepy rock.
Hope it was nice. Long naps like that are 50-50 for me. I either feel invincible or like I just got hit by a truck. There's no in-between.
I wouldn't say a truck. Maybe a nice minivan.
Oh, okay, I see. Very manageable.
Ollie giggles softly and takes a seat into one of the repositioned armchairs. I nestle into the other chair, tucking my legs underneath me on the big cushion.
Still, though, I'm glad you were able to get some shut-eye. To be woken up so early after a night of drinking. If I were in your position, I would have been a puddle of slime. All my atoms would have dissociated from each other and scattered into the ether.
Honestly, I feel like I came pretty close to doing just that.
Still, though, the three of you did such good work, and so fast, too. I mean, pretty much everything was already done by the time the rest of us woke up.
All thanks to Leo and Artie.
You're selling yourself short, you know. You've been through so much in the past few days. Honestly impressive that you can stay so positive.
I shrug, not really knowing how to respond. I certainly don't feel impressive.
I'm sorry, Leo.
What for?
I'm just sorry that all this has happened to you. You don't deserve it. You deserve much, much better.
Ollie, you're such a sweetheart. I mean, I guess, yeah, maybe. I scruff the fur on the back of my head, blushing slightly. But how often in life do we actually get what we deserve? Oops, wrong thing to say, time to change tact. Overall, though, it could be much, much worse. At least, I have you all to worry about me. Brings a smile back to his face.
Oh, definitely. Between the 5 of us, you've got no shortage of warriors. Because, as you know, worrying about a problem hard enough fixes it.
Ollie giggles at his own joke, nestling further into his chair. It strikes me that I haven't seen him look this comfortable before. Must finally be settling in here. My bubbling curiosity finally starts to boil over. Probably won't be a better time to ask this, so here goes. Hey, speaking of warriors, can I ask you something about Artemis? Ollie tilts his head, blinking curiously at me.
Sure. Probably anyway.
You said you met Artemis in college, right? Ollie nods, clacking his claws together quietly.
Yeah, it was my junior year, I think.
Maybe you don't mind me asking, but how do I approach this? What exactly do I want to ask? What was he like back then? The dino is silent for a few long moments, but the claw clacking continues.
He was wilder. More restless than he is now. He had this manic energy about him, and he was always moving. Like, he was afraid to slow down.
The dino's voice changes, deepens. His usual flighty tone solidifies and takes on a new musicality.
But he was kind and sweet and a good listener, just like he is now.
Yeah. I do my best to keep my voice steady and nonchalant. But he had lots of friends. Ollie's brow darkens and his claws freeze mid-clack. His expression twists into the closest approximation of anger I've seen him express.
I wouldn't call them friends!
His words are quiet and soft-spoken, but I can feel the thrashing, roaring energy caged just behind them. Ollie doesn't elaborate. His eyes are fixed on something long past. Push a little further. I take it they weren't good to him? No. Not at all. The venom in his words stirs the air, smoldering and spitting like thick, choking smoke, like a bright, sparking flame. They used him when they wanted to and ignored him when they didn't. Kept him chained to them like a bird in a cage. Somewhere hear the cold, sonorous snore of an iron door swinging shut. No, wait. It was...
Oh, that's the front door!
Ollie jumps to his feet in an instant, claws once again fiddling at high speed.
Listen, Leo, I'd appreciate if, I
won't tell anyone else, promise. Just like last time, we never had this conversation. Relief spreads across his face.
Thank you, I'm literally such a chatterbox, I'm sorry,
Ollie's stream of apologies are cut short as a bird himself strides into the room, still shaking snow off of his clothes. Speaking of chatterboxes, I'm back. So I see. I was just helping Ollie get things settled in here. Sure, yeah. His eyes twinkle. Bet you were helping a lot from that armchair. I immediately stand up, sticking my tongue out at the sassy bird.
How are things out there?
Ollie blurts out, clearly eager to change the subject. Believe it or not, there's a lot of snow. Artemis pulls off his beanie and shakes it out, running a talon through his tousled hair. Theo's still out and about, of course, but my arm's hurt and I'm tired. He looks at it. He's definitely been awake since the incident this morning. I'm starting to feel guilty about my nap. Maybe we can just chill for a bit? Got any more major historical events? Sure.
Is it alright if I join you two?
Artemis blinks at him. Of course, Ollie. What made you think I wasn't inviting you?
Oh,
Ollie's eyes flick to me.
just being silly, I guess.
There's a novelty. Artemis says gently, shoving his worn beanie back into place. Is it okay if we go back down to the basement? I know it's a little chilly down there for you, Ollie.
Artemis, please, I will be fine.
That's cool with me. We can pick up a snack from the kitchen if you need. Nah, one of the neighbors paid for our shoveling service and sandwiches. Wouldn't it be easier if everyone just paid for everything in sandwiches? Imagine it. A sandwich-based economy.
I mean, depending on what kind of sandwich, it would probably spoil, and you wouldn't be able to carry very many at once, so I'm not really sure that...
Artemis holds up a talon to shush him, face alight with mirthful exasperation. I don't mean literally imagine it. Look, never mind. Forget I said anything.
Oh. Right, sorry. Even with the limitations I mentioned, though, it would probably still be preferable to our current economy.
Amen to that. Make our way across the now familiar house, heading for the basement. So, did you have anything in mind? Any activities? Nope, nothing at all. I'm honestly running out of ideas for things to do here. The cabin fever's setting in already.
Artemis?
Yes?
Would you mind putting on one of your playlists?
I could. Don't know if you'd be interested, Leo. Ollie turns to me excitedly.
Artemis has incredible music taste. He's introduced me to so many artists over the past years. Before I met him, I just kind of listened to the same video game soundtracks over and over again.
And like I told you back then, there's nothing wrong with that. Sure, you can put on a playlist. Honestly, it'll be nice to just sit and vibe out for a while. Artemis sets up a Bluetooth speaker as I scroll through his formidable music collection. What kind of mood do I want right now? Enrichment for my enclosure chat? Is this real? Mimetic hazard, do not click. You know what? You know what? I feel like doing something. Just right off the bat, option 6. Just no hesitation. We don't talk about option 6. I'm actually kind of curious about this. Damn it, Lug! We don't talk about option 6. We're just gonna go with the second most voted, which is option 3. Let me save real quick. Because this is so fucking silly.
Theta, what happens if you accept option 6?
We don't talk about option 6 around these parts. Without a doubt, this is the longest, foulest, most brain-riddled meme song playlist I've seen in all my days. What? Nothing. I can see you judging me over there. Good, I'm glad. I press play. The Bluetooth speaker begins booming out a particularly famous song from a particularly infamous band. One that starts with an S and rhymes with Smash Mouth. Artemis immediately facepalms. Ollie, however, begins bouncing in his seat, giggling up a storm.
Oh yeah, you picked one of my favorites.
This is the last time I hand you the metaphorical ox. You know you love it, Artemis. I do not. Yes, you do. You're tapping your foot. I am not. Hey, this is your playlist. You wrote this.
Honestly, so many of these songs were good even before they became memes, but their meme status kind of supercharged them. Made them stick in our collective memory as a society, but often in a way or context that is completely different from what the artist intended.
What the fuck? No, go. No. How did you get in here? How'd you get in here? You have mind control powers? You can open doors with your brain? God damn. Hey now, you're an all-star. Get the game on. Go play.
It's a little weird to think about, really. Sure, there was anything quite like a meme song before the internet.
That's a decent point. Closest thing I can come up with songs being used in movies, TV, and advertisements. That's fair. Like that one song in the late 90s movie about the meteor. I can't remember the names of either right now, but that's probably for the best. I'm sure you're actually allowed to say the titles out loud anyway. Oh, what do you mean? Don't worry about it.
Make a good point, though, Artemis, when you mention TV and movies. I guess I have a new counter-argument whenever someone tries to claim that the internet has made us dumber as a species.
Oh, if anyone says that, they're 100% full of shit. We've always been this stupid, as proven by the literally millennia-old graffiti found at archaeological dig sites. It's all lewd drawings and archaic your mom jokes. The more things change, the more they stay the same.
Oh yeah, another good point. That's wild to think about. The fact that we can still read stupid shit written by people thousands of years old. Think about the insane garbage people uncover from our time. What will archaeologists from the year 4000 think of vines? That one meme that's just the letter E.
That's honestly not the worst legacy we could leave behind. At least it's harmless.
True, very true.
By the way, are you keeping an eye on the time? Weren't you going to host that all-name game night this evening? Oh shit! Ollie jumps from his comfy spot on the couch and his phone catapults off his lap onto the floor.
Ah, fuck!
He scoops it up and stares at the stairs, waving a hasty goodbye at the two of us.
Kentucky, just sorry, I wrote so much. Okay, bye, I'm already late!
He vanishes up the stairs in a flurry of claws and feathers. What a guy. Yes. Ollie is probably my favorite person in the whole world. Artemis's tone is completely sincere. I think I can see why. Good. I'd honestly be concerned about our compatibility if you couldn't. Ollie's departure slows the conversation to a comfortable halt. Time passes as the music plays on. Artemis and I silently enjoy each other's company, speaking only to request a specific song or to skip one, before either of us know it, night falls. Long after the day vanishes and the house lights come on, I look up from my phone to see Artemis sliding on his boots, clearly preparing to go outside. Hey, you heading out? He startles slightly, almost like he forgot I was there. Yes. His voice is clipped, purposefully flat. Just for a minute or two, feeling a little stir-crazy, I guess. He won't meet my eyes. Turns his back to me and rifles through his bag. I'll be gone in just a few minutes. He stuffs something into his pocket, shoulders stiff and secretive. Flash of memory, the chill of a cold metal railing. The spark and flare of a small controlled flame. Oh, going out for a smoke? He freezes and finally turns to face me, face flushed with surprising guilt. Shit, was it really that obvious? I chuckle softly. Lucky guess. Slide my legs off the couch and tuck my phone away. Mind if I come with? You smoke? No, just thought I'd keep you company. He wrestles with the thought for a moment. Okay, fine, just don't stand downwind of me. The two of us suit up and head to the living room. Artemis holds the door open for me as we step outside onto Theo's front porch. At this point in the evening, the wind is quite mild, gently stirring my fur and clothes. The dim shine of the stars and street lamps is magnified tenfold by the snow, rendering the whole street visible. Artemis lets out a breath I didn't realize he'd been holding. He leans against the railing of the porch, looking out over the soft white ocean beyond. He pulls a fresh pack of cigarettes from his pocket, plucking one out with slight trembling talons. He stops it right before lighting it and turns to me. Don't ever do this, okay? I laugh good-naturedly, shoving my paws into my hoodie pockets. Okay, deal. I'm not kidding. The lighter flares up, reflecting off his flinty eyes, and the first sinuous tendrils of smoke swirl away into the night sky. I'm gonna stop it for the ad one break from the ads. Gonna get comfy! Don't smoke. The evil ads. I know, they're so evil. They're the most evilest evil ads that ever evil. I've been trying to quit for 5, almost 6 years now. I do pretty good during the warmer months, but... He ashes the cigarette lightly and deliberately into a small pocket ashtray. My eyes catch the glimmer of the words carved into the silver surface, but he tucks it away again before I can make them out. When winter rolls around, something about the cold. I miss it. It makes me miss it. And the feeling comes and goes too. It's never predictable. When I'm bored, when I'm anxious, hell, when I see someone else smoking, even if it's just in a movie or whatever, I itch. He releases a thin stream of smoke from his delicately curved beak. It sucks. His tone turns steely, sharp with frustration. I hate it! It's a shitty, expensive, disgusting habit. It's horrible for you, it makes your breath stink, it makes you smell like shit, it cleans out your bank account. And I fucking love it. I love the way it feels and the way it makes me look. When I smoke, I know I look good. I stop worrying about it. And it cuts my anxiety like almost nothing else. When the power went out yesterday and everyone else was running around and talking out over one another, I was panicking. I was panicking pretty fucking hard. Just kept thinking about the little pack hidden away in my bag. My holiday gift to myself. Another soft, loving drag. Watch him savor it like it was his last breath on Earth. I held out until now. I just can't help it. Whenever I leave it behind, I want it back. And that's why I'm standing out here in the cold like an idiot. Like all the other idiots who stand out in the cold, quite literally burning through their lives like candle wax. It's a mistake I make over and over and over again. Which of course makes it a choice, not a mistake. He falls silent, then watching the ephemeral smoke curl around the stars in wide, shifting loops. And in turn, I watch it curl around him, around his slender face, across his neatly tousled hair. Watch his talons, sleek and dexterous. The gentle way they handle that wretched little cylinder. He holds it so tenderly, and it hurts him so deep. It's not fair. With a gentle sigh, he leans forward onto the metal railing of Theo's porch, eyes cast skyward into the infinite forever. I join him, savoring the soft, insistent chill of the snow-kissed iron. I've changed a lot over the past few years. His voice is small, hushed, like a kid telling a secret. Its usual, easy melody nowhere to be found. His eyes remain fixed on the night sky, on the barest sliver of moon showing through the clouds. Gone through the lengthy process of reorienting my life, pretty much from scratch. I'm proud of how far I've come, but Sometimes it just feels like I'm running away from myself. Like I'm a shadow tethered to the past, and no matter how far I stretch, I can't ever break free. A shadow, just passing through life in the periphery, as stable and solid as smoke, as the frosty clouds we breathe in winter. Artemis. How's that for depressing? He turns back to me with a sorry excuse for a half smile, clearly desperate to lighten the mood. I softly clear my throat and oblige him, ignoring my heavy heart. I've had worse. I bet you have. Even my trauma is mid. He lets out a slightly forced laugh and stubs out the ashy remains. The pack disappears into his pocket, and then reappears. He lights up a second. I'm gonna be really annoying here and say it again. Don't do this. Hey, look at me, okay? His voice turns urgent, now almost desperate. I need to know you're listening. Smiling softly, I humor him, meeting his dark, fervent eyes. I am a bad influence. Don't do better than me. Okay, Artemis, I'll do better than you. I'm serious, you know. Yes, you've been very clear about that. Just because I feel like I always come off as a sarcastic, cynical little shit, so when I'm being legitimately genuine, I really gotta lay it on thick, you know? Yes, I hear you. I hear you. In fact, I'm hanging on every word. With a stiff nod, he finally turns away. Okay, awkward PSA over, we can be normal again. What do you mean, again? When were we ever normal? That gets a real smile out of him. Fair enough. That's definitely my fault. I've never been any fun to flirt with. I always take it too seriously or not seriously enough. He sighs theatrically and shoves his talons into his pockets, smoke dangling lightly from his beak. I'm just not very easy to love, that's all. My heart almost breaks right there and then. I just can't keep quiet after a line like that. Oh yeah? Once I speak without thinking, before censoring, before pulling away. And who told you that? He turns to me then, honest surprise on his face. His mind is rent by flashes of ripped black jeans and a large toothy smile. So unbearably vivid, I have to believe he sees them too. Who made you believe that about yourself? I hold his gaze. When you say those words, who is speaking through you? He turns away as we both begin to notice the beginnings of tears. Point taken. I'll mull that one over. But I think I have an answer. It's clear from his tone that he has no intention of telling me. Not here, not now. That's okay. Take your time, Artemis. I'm not going anywhere. The silence stretches comfortably on, muffled and wrapped in the glow of winter. He chuckles, and the sound escapes and waves around us before burying itself in the snowdrifts. He deftly plucks the cigarette from his beak. What you thinking about? A song. I would sing it for you, but... He gestures back towards the house, eyes alight with humor once more. I don't want to break any more of Theo's windows. That gets a laugh out of me for sure. Your voice can't be that bad. Oh no, it is. Well, same question then, who told you that? Hey, that line only works once a night. Besides, I gotta maintain some self-loathing, it's basically my brand. Anyway, with a more violent motion than strictly necessary, he stubs out the half-burnt smoke and tucks it neatly into the pocket ashtray. Catch only one word carved into its surface before it vanishes again. Love. That's enough. Says firmly, more to himself than me. We can go back inside now, I'm freezing. So you do get cold? He gives me a look. Yeah, of course I do. Well, you don't dress like it. Fair enough. We cross the porch and bundle back through the doorway. Two flickering shadows, leaving only the barest of impressions behind. I turn for one last look, and my eyes rest on the single brave streetlight, casting its lonesome shadow on the world below. Ugh. The trusty air mattress lets out a puff as I collapse onto it once more. Are you sure that's enough space for you? Yeah, there's plenty of room. We could move some furniture to... Nope, no more furniture moving today. I'm sick of it. Well, alright. But if I notice that you look at all cramped, I'm moving some tables. You better not. You couldn't stop me. Yeah, actually, I think I could. Have you seen your noodle arms? He flushes hotly. Hey, only I can call them that. Here's your pillow. He chucks it at me and I duck just in time. Hey, you better be careful. One of these days I might just throw one back. We finish setting up my stuff and take turns in the bathroom, wordlessly agreeing that we're both tired enough to go to bed. He settles onto the couch, tucking himself neatly beneath a hefty 3 layers of sheets and blankets. Don't judge. I like to be cozy. I nestle into my own blankets, tossing and turning a few times, fluffing up the pillow and rearranging the covers until they're just right. Typical cat-like behavior, I see. What was that you just said about not judging? Finally, after a brief exchange of yawns, Artemis leans over the side of the couch, then hesitates. You mind if I put some soft music on? I usually need something playing to help me drift off. I think I already know the answer. Go ahead, I don't mind at all. Thanks. Sleep well, Leo. I'll see you in the morning. Once again, the hail resumes, lashing fiercely at the small basement window. The storm isn't over yet. Alright. Stay safe, have a good night, and I will see you all tomorrow.